Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, October 17th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call this week, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then a special guest who's never been with us before on Friday, Reverse Aging Health Call. Everybody to take a couple of easy and slow breaths in through their nose and easy and slow breaths out of the mouth. Banish the ego and develop the spirit of surrender. You will then experience bliss. Banish the ego, and the only way you're going to do that is by going into the now and staying in the now, and develop the spirit of surrender. You will then experience bliss. Sri Satya Sai Baba. There really is nothing that we need to do, and there is nowhere we need to go if we wish to discover the bliss that is inside our souls. Divinity is already inside us. We simply choose or not to choose to let it out. We cannot see it because we are distracted by the ego mind, which is perpetually busy seeking, searching, and yearning to find that one special something that will satisfy its thirst. When we simply stop searching for one moment and remain still, quiet, and really relaxing inward with infinite patience, we will eventually discover a feeling of bliss. This is beyond anything we've experienced before. This bliss is the core truth of who and what we are. It's always here. It always abides as us and permeates the core of our beings. Feels like a deep, vast presence of eternal peace and extreme joy combined. Eternal peace and extreme joy combined. It has always been here waiting for us to relax into it. We simply have to remove our energy and attention from the outer world to find it is inside us. The greatest enlightened masters all say to live in this world, yet not of this world. Live in this world, yet not of this world. Meaning, do your life, yet don't get hooked into it. Do your life, yet don't get hooked into it. Do not be attached to dramas and traumas of this short time. You are here. You have come here for much more amazing things. You are here to discover the divine within you. This glorious state of bliss can only find you if your being is pure, not attached to anything out there. Life is really so simple. Most would believe that it's a hard struggle to survive, yet in the greatest core truth, we realize that life is completely effortless. Yet we are destined to run around, trying to achieve something, searching, seeking for the meaning of our lives around every corner. As long as we look for it in the outer world and always miss it. Today is the day to call off the search for happiness out there and relax into the truth of who you are. Stop searching for fulfillment outside of yourself in the physical world. It's all a trap. All the money, success, relationships, possessions, accomplishments, social likes, and desirous experiences will satisfy you only temporarily, yet never fully satisfy you. Their joy is impermanent and will come and disappear like the clouds in the sky. You will experience fleeting moments of happiness, and yet only minutes later, the mind starts seeking for something else, which it believes will make you happy again. Be careful of this desiring, demanding, needy ego. It is deeply addicted to entertainment, thoughts, and desires. It is not your real identity. It is like your shadow, the false figure that shows up from you blocking the light. The ego is always following the mind, like a lost sheep. It's not listening to your heart. Your heart knows the way to true happiness. Real happiness is found when you stop this ego mind and drop deeper inside, which means out of the head into the heart. When you completely stop the outer search, completely stop the outer search, and feel into your soul. Experience that which is real, that which doesn't come or go. What is permanent? Redirect your attention towards what this is. That which is eternal will be filled with the divine light of awareness. If you want to reach the state of bliss, then go beyond your ego and the eternal dialogue, Deepak Chopra. Every time that you were unhappy, have been unhappy, are unhappy, it is because you were over-identified with a belief that a desire, right, a belief, thought, or desire, you lost your center of awareness and became this grasping, needy, demanding, illusionary mind. Whenever you feel unhappy, the desiring mind is simply not getting what it thinks will make it happy from the outer world. The mind is an addict. Do not trust it. The mind is an addict. Do not trust it. Trust your heart instead. It knows the way home. The mind cannot instantly open the door to the divine, yet the heart can. The door to the heart is always open, ready for you to step through. Just open up to this great love inside you that loves all people, including yourself, deeply and eternally. Discover this love inside your heart. It is the one love where everything good in your life radiates from. This love is the center of it all. On this great journey, the mind is your main distraction to finding bliss. It will entrap you with all sorts of crazy emotions like anger, frustration, sadness, doubt, fear. Yet, even when these challenging moments occur, don't give them too much energy. Relax into your heart. Feel into your soul. Your ego is a drama queen and a professional at making you unhappy. Your ego is a drama queen and a professional at making you unhappy. You can step back from it all and relax into the source of love that is there at your innermost being. This is the door to bliss. It is the source of who you truly are. It cannot be destroyed, changed, diluted, or tainted by the unhappiness of the ego mind. The bliss of your being is always available. The bliss of the Creator forever permeates all of creation, and it is only in the forgetting that misery exists during virtue. Real freedom is available to all of us at this very moment. We won't find it at any other moment. It's only here, now. You can access it by surrendering your mind to something bigger than you. For even just a few minutes, in total stillness and silence, resting at the core of your being. The good news is that you can stop your search and be free from all suffering right now. You never have to do anything again to experience the bliss of your being. Your simple state of beingness is your blissful nature. All you need or choose to do is allow yourself to surrender to who and what you truly are beneath all these thoughts and experiences. You're the God. You're the pure consciousness. You're all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever. That's the real you. Many people must be tired by now of this perpetual search for being satisfied. The ego has been conducting this massive search for lifetimes. By now, you must be ready for a break. If you want a technique to do this, I'll share some with you. We practice meditation daily. Meditating is simply the fine art of watching all the various thoughts passing through the moment without getting caught up in them. Meditating is simply the fine art of watching all the various thoughts passing through the moment without getting caught up in them, while simultaneously following the rising and falling of the breath, relaxing deeper and deeper and deeper into the body until it's perfectly at peace and at ease with all of existence. The golden secret to meditation is that no matter how many times our minds wander back to following the thoughts, continue to practice being the watcher. Watch the thoughts like a fireworks show. Watch your breath as you would watch the infinite rolling ocean waves flowing in. Do this with total devotion. And after about 21 days of daily practice, something truly magical will happen. You will start to see how meaningless your thoughts and stories truly are. Your mind then becomes quieter and quieter and quieter. And you become more at peace with the totality of this life as it is. As your thoughts soften and slow down, they begin to lose their power. And a tremendous peace descends upon your life. Now energy begins to emerge in you, an exquisite blissfulness that has no rhyme or reason, but simply exists at your core nature. This is the bliss of your being, the bliss of consciousness. This is the very core of who we all are. Consciously choose to be in the now. Consciously choose to be in the now. When you consciously choose to stay away from dwelling in the past or future, you are left with only living in the now. Here, you naturally experience this pure bliss of being. In the now, the ego falls away and is replaced by the beauty of this moment. Look closely into this precious moment and notice that this is the only place you can relax and be yourself. You can dive deeper into the present moment by focusing on what your senses are experiencing. Bring awareness to what you are seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, and touching. After attuning to your senses, refocus your attention on how divine it is to have a body with amazing senses. Be fully present in each activity you engage in, and certain alertness will grow in you. This awareness naturally melts all thoughts away, leaving you with this state of blissful being. Surrender to the God source. Ask yourself this very important question every day. Where is the spiritual source of existence? Where is the spiritual source of existence? Very important question. Where is the spiritual source of your existence, of existence? Where is the heart of God, the source of all positive energy? At the very core of reality, we always can find the light of awareness. When we surrender to the light of awareness, we always find the source which feels like profound peace. The greatest peace we have ever tasted. Surrendering to this peace is easy. Your whole body naturally wants to give into it, and it requires no action at all. It is a deep letting go of suffering and all of the ego's efforting. In surrender, we simply relax. And in this relaxation, the ego releases its tight grip on this life. Surrender is all about devotion to a higher path, meaning and purpose in life. It is a way of living life that is humble, open, loving, and true to each moment. Surrender is being deeply devoted to the egolessness of our real nature, which is always there, resting just behind our humanity. Surrender is being deeply devoted to the egolessness of our real nature, which is always there, resting just behind our humility. Illuminated emancipation, unalloyed, and untainted bliss await you. But you have to choose to embark on the journey, the inward journey, to discover it. BKS, Iyengar. This is a continual, it's an understanding of oneself. It's an understanding of oneself. And relationship and how we interact on this planet is crucial. But it is the knowledge that awaits us within that surrenders all of this dogma, all of this weight, all of this burden that's unnecessary. And remember, we're all like sponges. So from a baby all the way in and out, we're absorbing. And it's what we're told is how we end up living our lives, which unfortunately is a real myth. A man is sitting in his living room reading the newspaper when his wife comes over and slaps him. What was that for? Asked the indignant husband. That's for being a lousy lover. A little while later, the husband goes over to where the wife is sitting watching TV, and he gives her a resounding smack. What was that for? She yelled at him, to which he answered, for knowing the difference. Now, this goes on, and the children go on watching what is happening in this life. Is this what this life is meant for? Is this all there is? They start losing hope. Before they enter into life, they are already failures. They have accepted failure. If their parents, who are so wise and powerful, cannot succeed, what hope is there for them? It is impossible. And they have learned the tricks of being miserable, tricks of being aggressive. Children never see love happening in a community. There will be many more possibilities. Love should come out into the open a little more. People should know that love happens. Small children should know what love is. They should see people caring for each other. But it is a very ancient idea and old idea that you can fight in public, but you cannot be loving in public. Fighting's okay. You can murder, that is allowed. In fact, when two persons are fighting, a crowd will stand there to see what is happening, and everybody will enjoy it. That's why people go on reading and enjoying murder stories, suspense stories, detective stories. Murder is allowed. Love is not allowed. And when you think about that, pretty true to the mark. If you are loving in public, it is thought to be obscene. Now, this is absurd. Love is obscene, and murder is not obscene. Lovers are not to be loving in public. And generals can go on walking in public showing all their medals. These are the murderers. And these medals are for the murderer. Those medals show how much they have murdered, how many people they have killed. That is not obscene. That should be the obscene thing. Nobody should be allowed to fight in public. It is obscene. Violence is obscene. How can love be obscene? But love is thought to be obscene. You have to hide it in darkness. You have to make love so nobody knows. You have to make it so silently, so stealthily, naturally, you can't enjoy it much. And people don't become aware of what love is. Children, particularly, have no way of knowing what love is. In a better world, with more understanding, the new earth, love will be all over. Children will see what caring is. Children will see what joy it brings when you care for somebody. Love should be accepted more. Violence should be rejected more. Love should be available more. Two persons making love should not be worried that no one should know. They should laugh. They should sing. They should scream in joy so that the whole neighborhood knows that somebody is being loving to somebody. Somebody is making love. Love should be such a gift. Love should be so divine, it is sacred. You can publish a book about a man being killed. That's okay. That is not pornography to me. That is pornography. You cannot publish a book about a man lovingly holding a woman in deep naked embrace. That is pornography. This world has existed against love up till now. Your family is against love. Your society is against love. Your state is against love. It is a miracle that love has still remained a little. It is unbelievable that love still goes on. Not as it should be. It is just a small drop, not an ocean. But that it has survived so many enemies is a miracle. It has not been destroyed completely. It is a miracle. Can you imagine in New Earth that a community of loving people living together with no antagonism toward each other? Can you see that in the heart mind in the New Earth? Loving people living together with no antagonism toward each other, with no competition with each other, with love that is fluid, more available, with no jealousy and no possession. And the children will belong to all because they belong to existence. Everybody takes care of them. And they are such beautiful people, these children, who will not take care of them. Who will not take care of them? And they have too many possibilities to see so many people loving, and each person lives in his or her own way. They will become more rich. And I tell you that if these children exist in this world, none of them will read Playboy. There will be no need. And none of them will read Vadasanya's Kama Sutra. There will be no need. Nude pictures will disappear. They simply show starved sex, starved love. The world will become almost non-sexual. It will be so loving in the new earth. Your priests, your policemen have created all kinds of obscenity in this world. They are the source of all that is ugly. And your family has played a great part. The family will disappear. It has to disappear into a bigger vision of community, of a life not based on small identities, more floating. In a community, somebody will be a Buddhist. Somebody will be a Hindu. Somebody will be a Jaina. Somebody will be a Christian. And somebody will be a Jew. If families disappear, churches will disappear automatically because families belong to churches. In a community, there will be all kinds of people, all kinds of religions, all kinds of philosophies floating around. And the child will have the opportunity to learn. One day he goes with one uncle to the church. Another day he goes with another uncle to the temple. And he learns all that is there. And he can have a choice. He can choose and decide to what religion he would like to belong. Nothing is imposed. Life can become a paradise here and now. Barriers have to be removed. The family is one of the greatest barriers. So a question rises. You said that love can make you free. But ordinarily, we see that love becomes attachment. And instead of freeing us, it makes us more bound. So tell us something about attachment and freedom. Well, love becomes attachment because there is no love. Love becomes attachment because there is no love. You are just playing and deceiving yourself. The attachment is the reality. The love was just foreplay. So whenever you fall in love, sooner or later you discover you have become an instrument, and then the whole misery begins. What is the mechanism? Why does it happen? A while back, I talked to this man who came to me, and he was feeling very guilty. He said, I loved a woman. I loved her very much. The day she died, I was weeping and crying, but suddenly I became aware of a certain freedom within me, as if some burden had left me. I felt a deep breath, as if I had become free. That moment, he became aware of a second layer of his feeling. Outwardly, he was weeping and crying and saying, I cannot live without her. Now it will be impossible. Life will just be like death. But deep down, he said, I became aware that I am feeling very good, that now I am free. A third layer began to feel guilt. It said to him, what are you doing? And the dead body was lying there just before him. He said to me, and he began to feel a great deal of guilt. He said, help me. What has happened to my mind? Have I betrayed her so soon? Nothing has happened. No one has betrayed anyone. When love becomes attachment, it becomes a burden, a bondage. But why does love become an attachment? The first thing to be understood is that if love becomes an attachment, you were just in an illusion that it was love. You were just fooling yourself and thinking that this was love. And really, you were in need of attachment. And if you go still deeper, you will find that you were also in need of becoming a slave. There is a subtle fear of freedom, and everyone wants to be a slave. Everyone, of course, talks about freedom, but no one has the courage to be really free, because when you are really free, you are alone. If you have the courage to be alone, then only can you be free. But no one is courageous enough to be alone. You need someone. Why do you need someone? You are afraid of your own loneliness. You become bored with yourself. And really, when you are lonely, nothing seems meaningful. With someone, you are occupied, and you create artificial meanings around you. You cannot live for yourself, so you start to live for someone else. And the same is the case with the someone else also. He or she cannot live alone, so he is in search to find someone. Two persons who are afraid of their own loneliness come together and they start a play of love. But deep down, they are searching for attachment, commitment, and bondage. So sooner or later, whatsoever you desire happens. This is one of the most unfortunate things in this world. Whatsoever desire comes to happen, you will get it sooner or later, and the foreplay will disappear. When its function is done, it will disappear. When you have become a wife and a husband, slave to each other, when marriage has happened, love will disappear, because love was just an illusion in which two persons could become slaves to each other. Directly, you cannot ask for slavery. It is too humiliating. And directly, you cannot say to someone, become my slave. He will revolt. Nor can you say, I want to become a slave to you. So you say, I cannot live without you. I want to become a slave to you. I cannot live without you. So instead of saying, I want to become a slave to you, I cannot live without you. But the meaning is there. It is the same. And when this, the real desire, is fulfilled, love disappears. Then you feel bondage, slavery, and then you start struggling to become free. Remember this. It is one of the paradoxes of the mind. Whatsoever you get, you will get bored with. Whatever you get, you'll get bored with. And whatever you do not get, you will long for. Whatever you get, you eventually get bored with. Whatever you don't get, you long for. When you're alone, you will long for some slavery, some bondage. When you are in bondage, you will begin to long for freedom. And really, only slaves long for freedom. Free people try again to be slaves. The mind goes on like a pendulum, moving from one extreme to the other. Love doesn't become attachment. Attachment was the need. Love was just the bait. You were in search of a fish named attachment. Love was just the bait to catch the fish. When the fish is caught, the bait is thrown. And remember this. And whatever you are doing, whenever you are doing something, go deep within yourself to find out the basic cause. If there is real love, it will never become attachment. What is the mechanism for love to become attachment? The moment you say to your lover or beloved, love only me, you have started possessing. And the moment you possess someone, you have insulted him deeply, because you have made him into a thing. When I possess you, you are not a person then, but just one more item amongst my furniture, a thing. Then I use you, and you are my thing, my possession. So I won't allow anyone else to use you. It is a bargain in which I am possessed by you, and you make me a thing. It is the bargain that now no one else can use you. Both partners feel bound and enslaved. I make a slave of you, then you, in return, make a slave of me. Then the struggle starts. I want to be a free person. And still, I want you to be possessed by me. You want to retain your freedom and still possess me. This is the struggle. If I possess you, I will be possessed by you. If I do not want to be possessed by you, I should not possess you. Possession should not come in between. We must choose to remain individuals, kind of the illusion of separation, and we must move as independent, free consciousness. We can come together. We can merge into each other, but no one possesses. Then there is no bondage. Then there is no attachment. Attachment is one of the ugliest things. And when I say ugliest, I do not mean only religiously. I mean aesthetically as well. When you are attached, you have lost your aloneness. You have lost everything just to feel good that someone needs you and someone is with you. You have lost everything. You have lost yourself. But the trick is that you try to be independent and you make the other a possession, and the other is doing the same. So do not possess if you do not want to be possessed. Judge ye not, so that ye should not be judged. It is the same. Possess ye not, so that ye should not be possessed. Do not make anyone a slave. Otherwise, you will become a slave. So-called masters are always slaves of their own slaves. You cannot become a master of someone without becoming a slave. That is impossible. You can only be a master when no one is slave to you. Now, this seems paradoxical, but when I say you can only be a master when no one is a slave to you, you will say, then what is the mastery? How am I a master when no one is a slave to me? But then I respond, only then are you a master. Then no one is a slave to you, and no one will try to make a slave out of you. To love freedom, to try to be free, means basically that you have come to a deep understanding of yourself. Now you know that you are enough unto yourself. You can share with someone, but you are not dependent. I can share myself with someone. I can share my love. I can share my happiness. I can share my bliss, my silence with someone. But that is a sharing, not a dependence. If no one is there, I will be just as happy, just as blissful. If someone is there, this is also good, and I can share. When we realize that our inner consciousness, our center, only then will love not become an attachment. If we do not know our inner center, love will become an attachment. If we know our inner center, love will become devotion. But you must choose first to be there to love, and you are not. Right now, you are not. When you say, one when I love someone, it becomes an attachment. You are saying you are not. So whatever you do goes wrong, right? Because the doer is absent. The inner point of awareness is not there. So whatsoever you do goes wrong. First be, then you can share your being. And that sharing will be love. Before that, whatsoever you do will become an attachment. First be, and then you can share your being. And that sharing will be love. Before that, whatsoever you do will become an attachment. And lastly, if you are struggling against attachment, you have taken a wrong turn. You can struggle. So many monks, recluses, sannyasins are doing that. They feel that they are attached to their house, to their property, to their wives, to their children, and they feel caged and imprisoned. They escape. They leave their homes. They leave their wives. They leave their children and possessions, and they become beggars and escape to a forest, to a loneliness. But go and observe them. They will become attached to their new surroundings. There are some people who are recluse, living under a tree in a deep forest. Believe it or not, this goes on today. But there were other ascetics also. Now, I don't know if you've ever stayed with a recluse. Inside, your own self is so much absent that you try to cling to anything in order to feel safe. You are not rooted, so you try to make anything your roots. When you're rooted in yourself, when you know who you are, what this being is which is in you, and what this consciousness is which is in you, then you will not cling to anyone. Many times, for instance, my boyfriend feels less and less like making love. This goes on all over the world. It's very prevalent. And this makes me upset and frustrated, even to the point where I act aggressive toward him. What can I do? First thing, a moment always comes in life when one of the partners will not feel like having sex. It happens to every couple. When one person does not want to have sex, the other clings to it more than ever. The other starts feeling that if there is no sex, then the relationship will disappear. The more you ask for it, the more afraid he will feel. This is a constant among the civilization. The more you ask for it, the more afraid he will feel. This relationship will disappear, and because sex has disappeared, but because you go on demanding, and he feels nagged continuously, and he does not feel like making love, he can either force himself, and then he will feel bad, or if he goes his own way, he feels bad that he is making you unhappy. He feels guilty. One thing has to be understood, that sex has nothing to do with love. It really doesn't. even though the ego mind can try to convince you it does. At the most, it is a beginning. Love is greater than sex, higher than sex. Love can flower without sex. What about, but he'll never say he loves me? No, you are making him afraid, because if he says that he loves you, you are already there asking for sex. In your mind, love is almost as synonymous with sex. That's why he has become even afraid to touch and hug you. If he hugs you, touches you, you are ready. You are making him afraid, and you are not seeing the point. You are pushing him away unknowingly. He will become afraid to even talk to you, because he talks, and again the situation comes up, an argument, and this and that. You cannot argue about love. You cannot convince anybody about love. If he doesn't feel it, he doesn't. He loves you. Otherwise, he would leave you. And you love him, but you have a wrong understanding about sex. Many understanding is that love starts growing for the first time when the hectic, feverish sex is gone, when it has by and by slowed down. Then love becomes more and more settled, finer, superior. Something delicate starts happening. But you are not allowing it to happen. He's ready to love you, but you are clinging to sex. You go on pulling him down. That pulling him down may destroy the whole relationship. It is understood, because the feminine mind always clings to sex only when the man is not interested. If the man is interested, the woman is completely uninterested. This is seen every day on this planet. If the man is after you, you play the game that you are uninterested. When the man is not interested, you become afraid. And then the whole role changes. Then you start playing the game that you need it. That without it, you will go crazy. That you cannot live without it. All that is just nonsense. Nobody has ever gone mad without it. If you love the person, your energy will be transformed. If you don't love the person, then drop out. If you love the person, the energy has a chance now to transform to a higher reality. Use that opportunity. And nagging is not getting and going to help. It will make everything more ugly, and it will do just the opposite of what you want. See, we have these interactions, these knowings. Now, can you imagine that the parents begin to teach children in the beginning what is the meaning of life? Why and who and what I am in this body? And all these emotional, all of these inroads, all of these discoveries, many of us, they fly right by us. We're such in a hurry. We're such in a hurry to get somewhere, and that somewhere, we have no idea where that somewhere is. And the rat race continues. And so, generation after generation, it's handed down. In about 99.99% of all cases, the parents have no clue of what to do. And their parents had no clue of what to do or how to teach. It's not a bad thing either. It's a positive thing to acknowledge this and understand it. It has never really been discussed. I'll join you in the meditation and I'll return to close us out.
Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. This moment is the only thing that is real. Everything happening between your ears is a grand illusion created by your mind. This moment contains the only true existence. It is the only place you can find the divine. The past and future are amazing, yet are delusions that take you away from the divine and are not actually real. They are continuously being fabricated and replicated by your mind. So, for 10 times randomly today, stop the mind by surrendering to the present moment, the now. An amazing spiritual experience will begin to unfold within you. The longer you can remain completely present to the now, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself and see for yourself. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night. The following morning, we will return here Tuesday, October 18th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.